guys, it's Elle. What is going on with this piece of hair? All right, sip first. I know, Diet Coke's bad. All right, let's try this again. Hey, welcome back to my channel. It is Elle. So I want to do a quick tutorial on talking about pores. I get so many comments from you guys about my pores look big, what do I do about it? How do I hide them? Blah, blah, blah. And I know there's a lot of tutorials out there about kind of hiding pores or diminishing them, but I wanted to do my own rendition. And so first of all, I have all my skincare on right now. I'll let you see, I'll stay real still. All right, so that is basically how my skin looks with nothing on it, with just moisturizer and skincare. Now, I don't have the largest pores because of what I do, these tips. So your first tip is to use an exfoliator. Now, if you guys have watched my previous video, which I will link below, my nighttime routine, like I said, I'll link it below so you guys can really hear the whole explanation of why exfoliation is beneficial to you in this kind of topic, but I will do a quick little rendition of it. So you want to get an exfoliator that is something that you do, 3 times a week or every other day. It depends on how sensitive your skin is. But I'm talking about an exfoliator that is almost kind of like microdermabrasion. I know Epicurean makes a great microderm exfoliating scrub. I know that, of course, in that video you see me talking about the Meaningful Beauty exfoliator, which I absolutely love, but we're looking for something that has very fine particles in it, and it does feel rough on your skin, but when you exfoliate that way, it actually takes the gunk out of your pores. And I'm talking about, that's a very technical term, gunk. Basically sebum and daily pollution and makeup remnants and things like that get trapped into your pores and start to spread them over time and make them large. Yes, hereditarily, you can definitely have bigger pores or prone to bigger pores, but we can at least shrink them, diminish them by doing a great exfoliation routine and be consistent about it, because you really want to get that, gunk and filling that is in your pores out, so your pores can start to shrink back to a normal size. All right, so tip 1 is to definitely get an exfoliator. All right, so after you've done that, you are going to want to prime your skin. Now, priming your skin with a pore minimizing primer is going to be essential. For this primer, you don't need to put it all over your skin. So for me, I like to use it right here in the center of my face, kind of right here and down along here. This is where all of my kind of larger pores are, where I find that makeup has a tendency to kind of grab at different sections of my face. And so I have a couple different ones for you guys. First of all, the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores, really, really fantastic. The No More Pores, Pores No More by Dr. Brandt is another fantastic one. The Porefessional by Benefit is really accessible and amazing. One of my favorites. And then the Garnier 5-Second Blur, and you can get this on Amazon, and this is well worth it. It's very cheap. It's very inexpensive. I think it was probably $6. So this is also something that you can get. Now, all of these primers have a mattifying ability to them, because for most people with large pores, you are more oily prone. It just happens to just be that way with your skin type, so you are definitely going to benefit from the mattifying properties of this, or of these types of primers. Now, I'm going to use, and you have seen me use this in a couple other videos, I will link them below, but I really want to kind of talk about this as I'm actually doing it and explain to you guys why we use this technique to apply these types of primers. So what I usually do is I usually use NYX's Glow Primer on the perimeter of my face, and then I'll use my pore minimizing primer in the center of my face. So tip one on this is you do not need a lot. Just a small pea size will do. And what you do is you kind of just pat on your finger, I have my mirror right here, and then you want to press this into your skin where you have those large pores. And you do not want to wipe these primers because the point of this is to fill that pore, is to kind of glide over, gloss over that pore so it no longer is visible. And you really want to make sure that even when you're in a rush, you pat this in. And I'm going to do one side of my face if I kind of can for you, so you guys can see the difference. You probably are really going to only be able to see the difference around my nose. And I find that when you pat this in, if you kind of just do it in all directions, it kind of pushes it into that pore all around. And this does take a little extra time to do, but I feel it's well worth it. And my nose hates foundation for some reason, and I find using a pore minimizing primer helps foundation stick to it. Okay, so I'm going to stay real still and get a little bit closer so you can see the difference between this side and this side. And I do actually like to pull this a little bit under my eye because I have that kind of bumps and enlarged pores underneath my eyes. All right. So I do like to give this a moment to kind of set into the skin. So maybe 1 or 2 minutes, just give that a second to kind of just really work into the skin and melt and heat up and become kind of one layer with your skin. Because if you go in with your foundation right away, it's just going to start to ball up. And you'll also notice that if you use too much, the product will start to pill, which means it'll start to ball up on your skin, and that is just not a good look for anyone. So while that kind of works in, I'm just going to use my Match Co foundation, and this is that custom blended foundation that you can get on the app Match Co. And I'm just going to take it in my beauty blender, and I'm not going to use a brush when I have used a pore priming, a pore correcting primer, because what is that going to do? It's going to disturb the skin. It's going to disturb what you had just put down. So you want to pat your foundation in. So when you're using a primer like this, at least in the areas that you have primed, it is not a great idea to use a brush because that is just going to completely wipe it away. All right, so there you go, the skin is perfected. Now, what I would normally do is I would apply a little bit of concealer, a little concealer right here, and pat that in again, and then you can set this with a loose powder if you want, with a pressed powder if you want, a mineralized powder, it's totally fine, but for me, I find that when I do not powder that area where my pores are, if you're super oily, I totally get it. You can just use a little translucent just kind of over that area. But when I don't powder, I find that this technique really, really smooths everything out, keeps everything kind of looking glowy and dewy and not too makeup-y. All right, so that's basically it. I know it was a super quick video, but I just wanted to kind of touch on this. I know a lot of people have asked me about pore size and how to diminish it, so I hope this was helpful. Comment below and let me know if you have any questions. As you know, I always respond as quickly and as much as I possibly can, and I really appreciate you guys asking all of your questions, and I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Lots of love from me to you. Mwah. Bye, you guys.